Hello, welcome back to How to RPG, and today it's all about monsters. And this time I thought what I would do is give you sort of a rundown on how to make your own monster lore. And since I've been doing a lot of that recently myself, I have some information that should help you along that way. I thought I would also show you off like two books that have like a bucket load of monsters, but it's not just monsters. It's a book full of the Creature Codex and the Tome of Beasts of ideas about what you could do with your monsters. And I think that's probably more important with regard to this. But I'm going to put up a poll. I'm going to ask you a question because we're also going to do a workshop session as well after my presentation. And then we'll get straight into that once I've done this. But today the idea is I give you a lot of questions. I'm very much focusing on questions rather than answers, because that's one of the things I've discovered when you make your own stuff. It's really not so much about the answers, it's about asking the right questions. Okay, so I'm here. You will see me. I'm going to pull out my earplugs because I won't need those, and we'll get into this fairly quickly. So grab some food, some drink, make sure you're comfortable, and prepare for a bunch of information as it happens. A bunch of information. Okay, here we go. We will transition over to there. We've got that going. And I think, yep. How's it going, Dungeons and Chronics? Welcome. Okay. Hi, welcome to How to RPG. My name is Fred Weller, and today I want to talk about monsters. That's right, I want to talk about monsters. I don't want to talk about just monsters or a particular monster. You may have noticed I've been going on a sort of a bender of it's time to make your own stuff. And so therefore everything that I'm trying to do now is around giving you tools and information so you can make your own monsters, your own stuff for your games, your role-playing games, your Dungeons & Dragons games, your Pathfinder, whatever it is. And so that's where my focus is for today. And really this consists of a series of questions. These are questions I ask myself. These are questions that actually I've actually asked AJ Pickett about, and a number of other subscribers and friends that I have when it comes to doing this who've been doing it a very long time. So they know what they're talking about. So how do you go about creating, modifying, and developing your own monster lore for a role-playing game? That's the answer we want, right? But start off with the question. I always find it best to start with general monster information. So when I'm doing any kind of monster lore, and in fact you'll notice the same thing with some of the other people who do lore on monsters on YouTube, they'll start off with what the monster looks like. Okay, whether that's using an image or describing it, usually they're going to use both. For you, whether you have a picture for it, or able to find one or draw one, I mean, that's something you have to deal with yourself. But what it looks like, at least a description, is important. How is it really special or different from other monsters or creatures, or just an animal or a beast or something like that? So what makes it special or different? That's usually what the first thing you've got to deal with. After that, what I've been honing in on recently is biology, monster biology. You'll find that most of the time you can't find a lot of information on monster biology because, well, it's not something that's usually well defined, and people haven't really adopted it for a variety of different reasons. But I find monster biology quite interesting. So this is the physiology and the biological qualities of the organism or the monster, as that's how we're going to approach it, right? It's the monster. So the biological qualities. So biology can cover everything from the head, how it works, the body, the legs, the arms, tail if it has one, claws, tentacles, eyes, ears, mouth, teeth, sensory organs, depending on what sort of sensory organs they might have, if they have something a little bit unusual, fur, if they have fur, many monsters have fur, antennae, bones, armor plating, if they have armor plating, a stinger, a pincer, and the list goes on. There really isn't a sort of an end to this. I mean, there should be an end to this. There probably is a finite number of different parts of body parts you can talk about. How do the monster's special features work at a biological level? That's one of the interesting questions that you pose yourself. Now, one of the huge things that you can wind up spending a lot of time on is trying to figure out how can a sort of fantastical special ability that a monster has, how can there be sort of like a scientific or a rational or a sort of a real world explanation for how it works? Because sometimes there is an explanation for it, and it's usually around biochemistry much of the time. So if you look at biochemistry, you'll find a lot of that information. I know this sounds like you're going to be doing a lot of homework. I found Wikipedia. I use Wikipedia. It's pretty good for porting over real world biology into a fantasy monster if you want to do that. The next thing I'm going to say, and it's not necessarily, this is not necessarily in order of importance at all, but monster combat strategies. How does the monster fight, if it has to fight? Does it even fight at all? List the monster's unique abilities or powers or traits and features that assist in it hunting down prey and fighting. Its fighting activity, because that's what combat's all about, right? So how do those particular monster abilities and features and traits, or how do they work in combat? Some of the things they have won't relate to combat at all, and so you'll talk about them in a different section at a different time, and we'll get to that, don't worry. You'll find most of the other stuff you probably port in at the very beginning, okay? That's sort of the stuff you put forward first. Next is like monster fighting tactics. You can adopt many of the real-world animal hunting behaviors and tactics that are used over to your monster, whether it be a leopard, a cheetah, a crocodile. Many of those things you can just insert into your monster, and that's how they operate. You might be going as far as sea anemone. Like, there's all sorts of different ways you can utilize real-world animals, insects, and plants, and take their behavior and how they hunt and feed and put it into your monster, and that'll be part of their fighting style or their hunting tactics. Then the last thing I always try to include is, does your monster fight to the death, or does it flee? Fight or flight is one of the normal creature instincts or animal instincts that exist, and you might find that you have a monster that you've created that follows that particular pattern, because that's quite normal. You know, fight or flight. You fight while you can, and if it looks like you're not going to win, then you flee, and that's it. And then of course you'll have monsters that don't operate like that, but it's a good question to ask. Next, monster habitat. What is the natural environment or home for the monster? Like, where does it get what it needs? You know, what sort of environment does it actually need to be in? So an appropriate monster habitat or environment provides shelter, water, food, and space. But it also means it needs to have an environment that allows it to reproduce. So it has to be able to find a mate, and it needs to be able to reproduce. How does that monster reproduce? If it does, it may not be a monster that does that. There may be only one of them. What does the monster feed on? So how does it sustain itself? So how does the monster survive? And then what is the monster's territorial range? So in other words, from wherever its nest is or its lair, like how far will it extend itself before it will return to its sort of home base or its lair or nest? And then how much space does a monster need to survive? Now, the concept of monster territorial range and monster space is not the same thing. What monster territorial range means is, as a general rule, this is how far it will go from its home, okay, where it's set up its nest, its lair, its cave, whatever it is. How much space it needs is different. This is the kind of space it needs to roam across to be able to sustain itself on whatever is in the environment, whether it be foliage or animals that it eats, okay? And sometimes you'll almost always find that its territorial range is shorter than the space a monster or an animal needs to actually survive in. So the space is much larger, the territorial range is much shorter or smaller. How does the monster sense creatures or prey in its environment? What sort of senses does it rely on to actually catch something to eat? And what does the monster ignore? Because all animals ignore things, and even your monster will ignore things. It's just, what does it ignore? Okay, monster society. This is when we're starting to deal with something that's a slightly more complicated than just a beast, but it may apply to a beast-like monster as well. How does the monster live with its own species? So if there's other monsters around like it, how does it interact and live with them? Does it even do that? That's a question to ask. What family arrangements does the monster have? Like, if it reproduces, there must be some sort of family dynamic going on, right? And that's a question to answer. Sometimes a monster will reproduce and then just leave its young to fend for itself. Maybe sometimes your monster will reproduce but stay with the young for quite an extended period of time before they are capable of looking after themselves. How does the monster communicate with other creatures that aren't its own species, but how does it communicate specifically with its own species? That's very important. Now, this might be through language, but it might be through scent, body language, or some other approach. I know lots of different communication styles out there, so you can port over whatever seems to fit for your particular monster, right? Does the monster have shared customs? So in other words, is the society organized enough that there are some sort of customs involved, and do they share them with some other monsters of its own kind? Are there laws set up by the monster society? Does the monster have a god or a form of religion? Okay, and then is the monster society organized? Some monster societies won't be organized. They will look more like maybe a pack. Maybe they are more solitary. And there isn't like an organized society as such, because they don't have communal living. But some monsters will, and so you want to answer those questions. And often this is the question you answer for a humanoid-like monster rather than a beast-like monster. Monster ecology, your next set of questions. The ecology of a monster asks two major questions. What sort of relationship does the monster have with different species or creatures or flora, in other words, plants? Is it a good relationship? Is it a bad relationship? Is it beneficial for only one party or for both? So you'll find, as a general rule, that all monsters have to interact with something else. Is everything that it interacts with just considered meat and that it eats it, like, say, a T-Rex? Or are we talking about a dynamic where trade might take place? That's a question to ask. How does the monster affect and interact with the environment? Every time a creature, an animal, a beast, a monster lives or hunts and exists in any kind of environment, it will affect that environment. As we know, humans affect the environment, but so do animals. So will your monster. And it's an important question to ask yourself, because there might be things that you need to indicate. Maybe you'll find this particular animal or monster has got big claws and needs to sharpen them. So you'll find a lot of the bark on trees has been torn off, or you'll find river stones where there are claw marks on them, whereas they've been sharpening them up, ready for going hunting. That sort of stuff. Defeating the monster. We are playing a role-playing game, and if you're playing Dungeons and Dragons, often monsters are things that you have to wind up fighting or killing. And as a game master, you probably want to have some idea of how to defeat that monster so that you can communicate that information to your players. Also, too, if you understand how to defeat the monster and you've already defined there are some things that can be done, then you haven't created a monster that is indestructible. One of the biggest problems with monster creation is creating something that can never be defeated. Now, we don't necessarily want them to always pursue that avenue, but there's got to be some way that a monster can be defeated. If every single monster we have is indestructible and can never be defeated, such as, say, Godzilla or something like that, then, the players are going to get sick of that. So you want to consider that. So how do you defeat that monster? Figure out some things. What are the monster's weaknesses is probably the first port of call. What hunting or fighting strategies are the most effective against the monster? So in other words, when you're hunting something, there's usually strategies that you employ to assist in capturing and or killing another animal, right? And the same thing will apply with your monster. Trapping is often the most effective way, because once you have trapped the creature, it makes it much easier to actually secure the kill. And so you may have to set up traps, a particular type of trap, to be able to capture this monster. Avoiding the fight. Sometimes fighting the monster is actually a bad idea, and running away or avoiding them completely if possible is the best strategy, and maybe you'll have that written into your monster lore. Dialogue with monsters to eliminate the conflict in the first place. If there is going to be conflict between your player characters and the monsters, then maybe the best way to do this is to not have a fight, and either it's through influencing them through persuasion, deception, or intimidating them, some sort of dialogue or communication with that monster to eliminate the conflict so you can go your own way, okay? Or maybe continue with a different relationship. So something to always put in forward. You always, even when it comes to defeating the monster, dialogue should be an avenue. Now, you won't always have that as an option for every single monster, but for the ones that it makes sense, then certainly have something there. And then lastly, incorporating the monster into your role-playing game or incorporating the monster into your adventures. How to incorporate a monster into an adventure or role-playing game. There's a couple of easy ways of looking at this, and most of the work is done. This is why I put this last by everything else that I've been talking about. The easiest method to take this is to take all the information you've created on your monster, expand it into a narrative story premise. So you take all the information that you've done on the general information, its combat strategies, its habitat, society, ecology, biology, all that stuff, and then you try to find a narrative story premise for it. And once you've done that, that's your in. That's how you're going to utilize your monster in your role-playing game. You can also modify existing popular culture stories or mythology or legends, and narratives can offer many additional adventure hooks for hooking your players into the story of the monster. For me, Dungeons and Dragons, for example, is really the story of the player characters interacting with monsters. Okay? If you're playing a role-playing game like Call of Cthulhu, then really the idea is your player characters are interacting with the horrors of something that's going on. It's the same sort of thing. It's that interaction, and you can pull it from anywhere. Even normal settings can offer really fun monster interactions. So something as simple as mundane activities can actually be ported over and utilized with your monster interaction. It may seem out of place. It may be as simple as you go down the road and you find yourself, there's a barber in town. You know, you walk into town and you go to the barber, and the barber is actually an octopus humanoid creature with long tentacles that can comb your hair and trim with multiple scissors. And it's just taking like a very simple concept and including it in there. So this is never really going to be in a situation where you fight them, but it could be if you wanted that. So I'm hoping that this was useful to you in some way, that it gave you the information you need to make your own monsters, because that's what I want you to have a go at doing, is make your own monsters, make your own stuff, give it a go. It's not as hard as you might think. It might take a little bit of time, but it's also very rewarding. So thank you for watching my video. Thank you to everybody who stayed for the whole thing. And hey, till next time, keep rolling those 20s. Okay, give me a second and I'll be back. I'm just going to put this screen up for a second. I need to open the door because I'm dying in here right now. Hello, AJ. So AJ Pickett. So we're going to be meeting in a few days, aren't we? We've got Wally DM and it's the Game Master round table. So AJ Pickett, mate, did I do all right? Did I cover the things I needed to cover? Did I miss anything? Am I wrong about what I've just put forward? Because AJ, man, you do this more than I've ever done. Like, you do this all the time, and you're making a lot of your own stuff right now. So I'm kind of interested to know. All right, the door is open. Okay, sliding back in here. I just need to get far more comfortable than I was before because it was getting very hot in here, and we'll come back and we'll check this poll, and then we'll get started on making some monster tools. So in the past we've been doing with this, I've been doing a lot of recreating or remastering a lot of monsters for 5e, and I'm not going to do that. Instead, we're going to go right back to the roots of getting you the tools you need to make your own stuff. I think that's going to be more useful, frankly. So let me just have a look at chat. I'll say hi to everybody, and then we'll look at the poll, and then we'll get started. Okay, people? By the way, all of this information, I'll make sure it goes into a document. It's written up. I just need to maybe do some bit of formatting, and it can go onto Patreon. So you can download it off Patreon if you want. Okay, right. I've said hi to Dungeons and Chronics. How's it going? Nacho Man is also a patron. Thank you for showing up, buddy. I wasn't expecting AJ to show up, but I was hoping he might spot it. I figured it might interest him. And then we've got location, where to find the monster. I've already said that. Location is already been covered. So I discussed that under habitat, okay? What is the natural environment or home for the monster? It's the same thing, okay? It's the location. Overboard is here. How you going? Overboard is a patron, also a moderator. Thank you for being here. Jordan Rogers, hello. How are you, Jordan? And if you are a patron and I don't call you out in chat, please let me know. Sometimes I forget. Nacho, books are on their way, mate. Nacho, what have you sent me, Nacho? Oh, that's right. Nacho, you're sending me first edition Advanced Dungeons and Dragons, aren't you? Is it the Player's Handbook, the Dungeon Master Guide, and the Bestiary for first edition Advanced Dungeons and Dragons? I guess it's going to wind up showing up on the channel, people. Yes, habitat. Okay, let's have a look at the poll. I'm not going to close the poll, but I'm going to at least look at it and just see where people's head are at. Special powers. I kind of figured that might be the case. I was a little bit concerned about putting down origin, and then I realized actually origin's not a bad way to go. So for anybody who voted in this poll, what monster table do you want to make for your homebrew RPG? So, by the way, AJ Pickett has a few websites or tables that actually do this sort of stuff anyway. Certainly in terms of ecology, I believe there's a bit, I think, under ecology. I remember you showing it to me, AJ. I can't remember if you're still here. You just let me know. So special powers is the thing people want, which is fine. I have no problems with going with special powers. We can do that. That's perfectly acceptable as far as I'm concerned. So we can make a big list. So the intention is the monster table needs to have 100 different items. Not 10, not 20, not 30 or 40, but 100. So whether we get it done this time or not, I don't know. If we do special powers and we finish that, okay, at a later date, since this program is designed to be every week, and I will be talking about monster lore over time, by the way, people. So for those of you who are wondering, will I be talking about monster lore? Absolutely. I am just currently torturing myself about whether I talk about the Remoraz or do I talk about the Cyclops. And when I finally rectify that issue for myself, then you'll know. Next week there'll be monster lore, but we'll still do the workshop aspect as well. So we're still going to do physical appearance, and we're still going to do innate traits, and we're still going to do origin of a monster. Okay, they're still going to happen. So somebody's having a bit of a fight with themselves. So don't feel like those 4 items are exclusive. Those are just, I can only put 4 items up. Okay, so it's not the end if we don't get that done. All right, so let's go into a document and get this started, shall we? A Google Doc will be more than adequate, and I will make sure I double hashtag this little sucker. I might have to move myself back a little bit, and then we go double hashtag. Let's do this. Double hashtag, and it is 100 monster. Whoops, what did I do here? What is this? Get rid of that. 100 monster. All right, so I've started the document. I'm going to move it over to the workstation, and you should be able to see that in a second. Just give me a second. I'll pull that up. Chrome. Okay, so I just need to make my headers way too big, so I'll shrink it. Is that enough? That's good enough. I'll get my phone organized, and then we're ready to fire into this. Get as much done as we can in the time that we have. Please tell me if you feel like the screen is not big enough. If I need to, can I magnify it anymore? Is that impractical? No, it's not impractical. We'll do that. We'll make it very, very large. And the rationale behind that, I guess, is so that you can see everything clearly. Now. Okay. Alright. My head gets bigger the more I do this. Oh. Right, so there we go. This is what we have. And I'm going to title this in a second. Just give me a second and I'll just make sure I get everything out of the way. And I don't need the ads. I really do not. I'm not interested. Go away. Alright, cool. Alright, so I've got my chat up so I can see it, and then I just need to make sure I get, what's this, there, okay, we're almost done, okay, 100 monster special abilities. I think that's what we were dealing with, was it not? I hope it was. I certainly hope it was. If it's not, there's a problem. Let's have a look. I'll just check to make sure that I saw the poll jumping back and forth all over the place. Cracks knuckles. So for those of you who wanted to know, are you going to be getting a good deal? You got AJ Pickett here. AJ is, this is the sort of thing that AJ lives for. Okay, so you're going to get a good deal here. So special powers. We're going to say powers. Don't get upset when I say powers. I'm not referring to Dungeons and Dragons 4E. Okay, I'm a new patron as of a few days ago. Jordan Rogers, welcome to Patreon. You're going to have a fun time, I'm sure. Right, let's get this going, eh? Because AJ's like, Fred, you're waffling. I know it is. I know that's what you're thinking, man. Here we go. Right, so spit them out. What's some special abilities that you think a monster should have? What I want you to do is I want you to give me a short sentence. If you can give me like a single word, like to use as like a tag, like so for example would be, say, camouflage, can change color in different environments, would be like a special ability, I suppose, although that's probably more like a trait. Special abilities and traits, it's sometimes hard to do to separate them. A good example of a special ability would be a dragon and breathing fire. That would be a special ability. Yep. So hashtag suggest some monster special powers. Okay, that's what we'll do. Yeah, AJ, you're right. You're right. If anything, AJ, if you hadn't figured out what's going on in my head, I'm actually just trying to stretch it out so that we can have things that sort of thinking in terms of traits, something that always is on. There's no recharge on it. Okay, so maybe that's what I'll say. Powers. Can recharge. I'm not a fan of recharge abilities on monsters myself. Or can recharge, not always on, not always available. It's like, I guess a snake can only poison, deliver so much venom before it runs out. No, I don't want you to do that right now, but I do like the idea of that. Okay, right, there we go. Alright, so, yeah, you guys can fire up some ideas. I am going to start writing some stuff in here, whether you do so or not, so it's not, don't like it when it does that. Okay. Is it more? Where is my, I've made it, I've expanded it so much I can't even highlight this. Don't worry about it, do it later. Do it later. That's my solution. And okay, damage types: acid, thunder, sonic, fire, force, cold, electric, psionic, magic, arcane, magic, divine, piercing, slashing, bludgeoning, poison, toxin. Okay, so we're delivering some sort of damage. Okay, right. So that's a big one, and probably easier for me to just port it over and copy it straight from the chat. So I will copy. I'm going to cheat a bit, people, without formatting. Here we go. I finally found that there's a non-formatting section, so I can grab that pretty easily. So we've got that one. Do I have the... If I just reduce this, I might be able to actually find... there's the more. And I want to number it. And I'll expand it and make it bigger so that you can actually see the text a bit better. No? What did it just do here? I pressed a button and nothing happened. Okay, try again. Okay, there we go. Alright, got it. Spits acid in a ball once per encounter. Okay. Spits acid balls. I'm not going to specify specifically how often. Let's just say it spits acid balls. Let's just do that. If you want to make it an encounter power or a daily power, or a once short rest sort of thing, or whatever it is, or it can do it infinitely, it's really up to you. Spits acid balls. Let's put that in. That's very Reptile from Mortal Kombat, isn't it? And kind of things that you come across in real life too. Overboard. Hello, Overboard. How are you doing? Ribs. What's that? Pop out chest. Extended up to 6 feet, grabbing the nearest player character, trapping them in a bony cage, and it starts to devour them. You are a sick little sod there. So Overboard is a patron and a moderator, has a YouTube channel as well. For those of you who don't know, AJ Pickett has a YouTube channel. You know he does. I don't need to say that. You already knew. I'm not sure what to say. What are we going to call this? We've got to kind of give it a name, don't we? Let's do that. And I'll put this here, and then we'll say, what's a good description of this? Oh, it's going to be hard. Okay, so I'm just going to get this stuff in, and I'll come back to it, tidy it up later. Ribs. That's it. Yes. Okay, got you. Overboard, your idea. Major Laser. How's it going, Major Laser? Okay, so projectile quills, spikes, can shoot rigid pointed objects from their body over a long distance. So I'm going to highlight this one because this is long as. I'm going to probably do something with that later more. Yeah, that's what I want to do. I'm going to have to tidy that up at some point because it's otherwise it's going to be impossible to get it all into a table of 100. Is going to be very big otherwise. Projectile quills can shoot rigid pointed objects from their body over a long distance, causing piercing damage. Okay. Let's just say shoots poison quills or spikes. Okay, sweet, we've got that one. We'll scroll it up. Major Laser got yours, AJ. So the range and delivery of the acid is the template there. Okay, alright, so regenerate damage. Each round receives no other kind of damage. Okay. Regeneration. Regeneration, and I don't want to actually specify that it has to be done a particular way in regeneration. Come on, Fred, get it right. Regeneration. Generation. And we'll put in here brackets. We'll put round. Round what? Round, minute, day, I guess, something like that. Okay, unleash a whip-like sticky tentacle out of the unexpected orifice, capable of disarming an opponent. Okay. All right. We'll take that one, and we'll stick that in. Acid bullet. What I want to put here is I actually want to put something like this here. So I'm going to go copy, and I'm going to put this in here. So you can decide whether it's going to be per round, minute, day. You put this restriction on it yourselves, people. Okay. And then I'm going to just copy that over. I'm going to find myself typing down everything that AJ Pickett and you guys give me. I won't get a chance to put anything myself, which is fine. This is kind of what happens in these. An unexpected orifice capable of disarming an opponent. So, I'm going to put that there. I want to give it a name. Shoots poison quills or spikes is easy. Spits acid balls, damage types. I want to do something with this in the future, so I'm going to make sure I highlight it so I give it a decent name. Whoops, that was a mistake. Let's undo that. And can I go down? No, it won't let me do that. Fine. Well, let me go down now. Can I do this? Take it off. Yeah, sweet. Good. Got it. Right. Time. Oh, what do you got here, Overboard? You've already got something. Grows a huge pus-filled balls over all its body until hit the creature with a weapon. Squirts a nasty fluid causing D12 plus 6 points of damage each round unless thoroughly cleaned off. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to get rid of the specifics about damage, but I will keep everything else overboard. Okay. You're probably wondering why, Fred? Why? Because you know me. I've been going system agnostic now, so we can make stuff for D&D, but we can make stuff for other systems as well, and I don't want to restrict ourselves to just one thing. So, pus filled. Okay, body. It's a very, very long. I'm going to highlight that one as well. Upon hitting the creature with a weapon, fluid causing damage, and injury or damage. Injury or damage. Each round, less it's claimed. That's fine. We'll do that. We've got that there. It's in. So overboard. Thanks, Joe. Got it. Charming mind control. Spore cloud. Immediate, close, medium. Ah, good. All right. I got it. Yep. We'll just cut that and put that in there. All right. That's another one down. Only 92 more to go. Very good. Okay, now where was I? I was looking through something. I was going to be nice and systematic about this because, do you know, I was looking at different books and resources, and probably the only redeeming feature of, as far as I'm concerned, the major redeeming feature of this book is it actually has some stuff in it that can be useful. And it's around building monster special abilities. The monster maths, it's all right, but yeah. But we're not going to stick with just this because a lot of this stuff is kind of a bit dull. Fender, hello Fender. Fender is a patron, also a moderator, been with me for a little while, and welcome. I'm glad you could make it. Wall crawling and hanging, and ceiling hanging. Okay, wall crawling. Okay, so we're going to just is spider climb a is the word spider climb really an IP thing? AJ, maybe AJ will know the answer to that. I'll put spider climb. I don't know what else to call it though. Crawling on vertical and horizontal. Crawling on vertical and horizontal surfaces, including upside down. Spider climb. For me, spider climb is more of a trait than a special ability, but we'll still put it in there. And this is just me trying to see if I can get 100 different items for monster special abilities and 100 different things for monster traits. But I have to define traits a bit more for you, I imagine, to be able to make that work. This is good. This is fine. This here, I'm going to highlight this as well, because I will need to do some work on that. Wall crawler can be, but not spider climb. Wall crawler. Thank you, AJ. Wall crawler. Crawler. Climber. Climber. Crawler. 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 There we go. Got it. Oh, crawler, man. Okay. It's getting warm here. Next. Has too many... Alright, so I've got to grab AJ's idea. I'm just going to cut it straight out of the chat. And copy. And we'll do that okay, has too many farming hours, actually leaves a trail of detached eyes. I want to give this a name. It's a really cool idea, AJ. I just want to give it a name now. What would it be called, though? We'll come back to it. We'll just get the ideas down for now. And then it'll be a lot of heavy lifting, trying to figure out what to do with them all. All right. So what do you got here? If the creature touches a character, they are tiny worms with teeth that swarm out of the beings. Oh, God. And the creature, if infected with 5 of these worms, it instantly causes unconsciousness. Very specific. This sounds like almost sounds a little bit like the grub worm, or rot grubs. And I'll know, yep, so we'll do that. And I'll come back to this later and do a bit of shortening and rephrasing at a later date, but not right now. Okay, all right, so we're doing all right. Not too bad, working fine. Oh, good Lord. Vertical leap. ability. Twice body length from a standing start, 5 times length when running start. Okay, very specific, AJ. I feel, AJ, I feel like this is the sort of thing you should be writing up yourself if you aren't already doing it or haven't already done it. I suspect you already have done it. Okay, here we go. Paste without that. Vertical leap. And we'll leave it as is for now. And yep, all right, so what have we got here that we can add? We'll call it rush. So rush, what do I want to call, what is rush going to be though? This is the thing that I'm trying to, Got to get going and go later, facts. No problems. See you later, Dungeons & Chronics. Thank you for showing up today. Rush. Okay. Charges into the enemy. Charges into creatures. Causing injuries. With spiked body. I'm going to go a bit of a question mark on this, but that's what I'm going to put in. Yes. Let's go with ambush. And actually what I'll do is I will scroll all the way up here and I'll put it under ambush, A for ambush. I will eventually put it all into alphabetical order, so if I see if I've got anything that's repeating, I can take stuff out. Ambush. What do you got here? The ability to, what's this? The ability to blink to another location with 50 feet with each attack has at least 3 attacks. That's very, very specific. But the ability to blink or the ability to teleport, I think we definitely want to have a monster that can teleport. I've been wanting to have a teleporting monster for ages. So I'll come back to this in a second, ambush, and we'll put your teleport in now. Hello, Matt. How are you doing? Sorry, Fred. Got to run. So glad I actually caught you live. I'll catch the rest of it as soon as I can. I'm glad you're here because if there's anybody who shows up that looks like they might be potentially a long-standing patron, then I can make you a moderator from the replay. So that's helpful, and also know that you were here. You've been putting a lot of comments into videos recently, I noticed. So teleport a short distance. So this is almost like Nightcrawler from the X-Men. That's really what we're talking about, aren't we? Farts of wonder. Oh, I love it. Vapor form. Good. Oh, we're getting there. This is going to be interesting. Don't be too specific. Don't try to tie it to Dungeons and Dragons. No, I'm putting it all down because it's fun as. So anyway, can become temporarily two-dimensional. Oh god, that's a good idea. Teleport a short distance and make multiple attacks in a short space of time. I guess that's what you're trying to say. Okay, I got it. So that is overboards down. Major laser. Vapor form. I'm just going to port it over. Easier to do it that way. Major laser. You've written it up pretty well, so I don't have to do anything with it. So I'm not... I'm going to leave it as is. Vapor form. Nice job. Nice job. Well done. Cool. That's in. Moving along. We're going to take farts of wonder. AJ knows how much I love to talk about farting, and he's also probably aware that I do a lot of it. I try not to, but it happens. Okay, so we've got this. This is this is interesting. I don't know what to say. Anyway, we got it in. Dear. Yeah, it's a two-dimensional thing. I'm just going to port it over it. Just copy it. And we'll go here. Can become. So we're going to just put 2D. 2D or not 2D? That is the question. So we've got it. Two-dimensional. Can unlock jaw, opening up its mouth enough to try to engulf the creature whole. The Python idea. So, yes. What is that? We can definitely give that a name at some point as well. I'll do a little bit of research at some point and look and see how they describe it. I want to call it dislocate jaw. Yeah, let's call it that. Can unlock jaw, opening up its mouth. Okay, there, done. That's good. We got it. Oh, what have we got here? We've already got something. Can temporarily increase body weight by 5 times. Oh, all right. Sounds like something that you would do. Why would a monster do that? To stop themselves from being moved? To make themselves... Wouldn't it be a big deal if you could do that and you were a piercer? Because that would hurt. I don't know what to call it, but we'll put it in. And I'm going to have to make sure I keep chucking these things in pretty quickly. Yes, I like that better. Can temporarily increase or decrease body weight. We don't need to say specified by 5 times, because let's get real, it'd be much more fun if we can make it by 10 times. Let's leave that to the game masters to figure out. But yes, increase or decrease body weight. Now there's a feature that the blowfish has and a few other animals has that is, I guess it's like expanding. Let's put it in here for now. Expand. Body inflates. Body inflates to scare predators. Body inflates in size. So I'm not dealing with weight, but size. With balloon sacks. How's that? Okay, expand. The play possum. Not a good idea. Not a good idea? No, it's a good idea. Kind of funny. Most of the X-Men Nightcrawler powers are all on the list. And that's perfectly fine. You can take your monster abilities from X-Men and Marvel if you like. That's not an issue, people. It's all right. you don't get nobody's going to tell you off. Okay, you're not going to fail. You won't get a C or a D or an E or an F. Okay, let's just port over what AJ's got in here. How's it going, Norok? Norok is also a patron. Thank you for coming. And AJ, we're going to call it. We're going to call it Play Possum. That's what we're going to call it, Play Possum. Because that's the name it needs to be, right? Really. Paste. Play Possum. Able to fake its own death. Death by slowing heart rate or body functions. I'm slowing body functions. How's that? That sound about right, AJ? You tell me if that doesn't sound right, but I think that's what you were trying to communicate. Because it's all very well just lying over and that's it, but you want to be able to do the rest, right? Because one of the good things about being able to play slow down your is not just to pretend that you are dead to another predator or another animal, but the great thing about it is that you can survive in an environment which would be much more difficult to survive in. Yep. So let's put that in. It can self-destruct and reform. Oh, I like it. You like that? Cool. All right, I got it. Cool. I was wondering if you were all going to be all right with that, but he's sweet with that. That's good. I am unsure how to communicate that in terms of what would it be called. So, it's not sure what to do with that yet, but self-destruct. Just keep moving. Oh, good lord. Can survive being frozen solid. Oh, okay. All right. We'll do that. Copy and paste format. Take it out. Right, so I'm not sure what that would be called either. I'm going to have to come back and deal with these later. That's right. So there's a lot of stuff going on. Stun, deafened, screech. Okay, screech. Make a sound that stuns and deafens. Okay, creatures. Okay, I think that's what you were trying to say. Screech makes a sound that stuns or deafens what am I doing? Deafens. Oh god, I put an A in there. Deafens. No, that's not right. Deafens. Oh, deafens. I've forgotten how to spell deafens. I have forgotten how to say it. Spell it. Deafens. Creatures nearby. I think that's what you're trying to say. Okay, so what's next here? Vegan has the power of self-assurance. Yeah. You're just putting that in because I've made so many monsters that are vegan. Particularly when they're meat eaters, I've made them vegans. Okay, all right, I'm putting it in. Just because it's funny. Anyway, photosynthesis. So when you say photosynthesis, okay, photosynthesis. I feel like photosynthesis is more of a monster trait than a special power. But that's all right. I'll put it down for now, and we'll go. I'm not sure what to do with this yet. I don't want to explain photosynthesis in a line of text. Immune to, but a carrier of diseases. Yes, that's a good idea. So this is going to involve me having to separate all this stuff at some point, I can see. But we're doing all right. Look, we're up to 29 now. Thank you, AJ. Oh my gosh, you'd think I wouldn't know how to spell, but apparently, actually, I do have trouble spelling. Still have trouble. If anything, what makes it worse is being in New Zealand and trying to remember how to spell everything using the English that we use in New Zealand, and then having to contend with everybody in North America using modified English. I get so confused sometimes. So confused. Can survive, regenerate off of blood. Okay. This is bloodsucker. Bloodsucker, and that's what we're dealing with. Can survive. Slash regenerate. Off of blood. I think let's make it fresh blood. Fresh. Got to get fresh blood. Otherwise, somebody's going to can it, put preservatives in there, and you're just not getting what you need. Okay. Senses. Who you love. Who your loved ones look like telepathically, then takes their form. Well, that's something we need to put in. Let's put telepathy in there. Telepathy. Can read a creature's thoughts and emotions. Is that telepathy? That sounds like telepathy to me. Let's put that in there. Disco ball? What is the disco ball all about? Okay, so now back to Overboard's idea here. Senses who your loved ones look like, and then takes their form. So, shape change. Can I get away with using the word shape change? I think I can. I'm sure AJ will know the answer if I can get away with that or not. Shape change. So this is like the scroll, and the doppelganger and the changeling. Shape change. Transform into the form of another creature. I'm not going to specify that they transform into a creature of the same size, because really that's really up to you. Like that's your thing. Do you know what I mean? Amorphous. Okay, right. So I'm going to have to catch up here a little bit. It can eat darkness. Okay. Eats darkness. Well, I don't know what to say about that one. A big question mark there. I need to figure out what I'm going to do with that. Eats darkness. I don't know what to do with disco ball. I have no idea. Glows in the dark. Yes. Dark. That I feel like is definitely a monster trait rather than a power, but we're going to put it in. Disco ball. Nipple. How's it going, Pale Rider? Oh, what have I got here? Did I miss anybody? Nipple tentacles. I'm leaving it off. Can change the color of aluminium enough to alter the English style. Yeah. Thanks, AJ. Yeah, that would be the word that would cause havoc. Yeah, okay. Amorphous. Amorphous. We'll fill that out some of the time. We'll put it down now. Glows just enough to attract flying insects. Okay. Glows in the dark. Okay, so attracts flying insects with is it bioluminescence? Luminescence. Oh, good lord. You telling me I actually spelt it right? Good lord. I can't believe that. Bio-regeneration. We've already got regeneration down. We've already got that. Communicates with smell. Okay, so I need to just grab that one. I'm just going to just cut and paste it. Where is it? Where are you, AJ? There you go. Got it. Copy. And drop it in. Normally I would take a break, people. But I don't think that I can take a break and this won't just wind up keep going and over and over and over again. So I'm going to drink. I'm going to sort of cruise. Since most of you are doing all the work anyway, this is what normally winds up happening on these anyway. So look, I'm not going to fight it. Okay, communicates with smell and releases a range of body odors. Okay, we've got it. Sweet, it's in. I see. I get it now. Add electrical skin. No, instead of that, alright, we're going to separate that, and we'll just call it electrical skin. Can't we do that? Gives off electric current through the skin membrane. There we go. Nora, cures is in. Off, gives off. There we go. That's better. Moving up. Disco balls. Yeah, We've got regeneration already. Explosive skin, raw sodium sweet. I don't know what that quite means. Explosive skin, explain to me a little bit more. I need a bit more to understand what we're dealing with here. Raw sodium sweet. Raw sodium sweet. Try to write it into a short sentence that makes sense. Try to write it into a short sentence that makes sense so I don't have to guess. It's all right. I'm going to be here for the next, 40 minutes, 45 minutes, I guess. You've got time. Take your time typing into the phone or the computer. It's all right. It's not the end of the world. I think we had mind-controlling spores already. Oh, here we go. This is it Jackwell? Hello, Jackwell. Jackwell the Scholar. Skin hardens in response to physical trauma. Oh, that's is that like the starfish, or that's the Incredible Hulk, isn't it? Really? Which is that based off the starfish? I don't know if that's a legitimate thing or not, but I'm going to put it in. It's not that's it can go in there. I don't know if we've already got it. I don't think we do. So I will grab that and shuffle that over here and include. Skin hardens in response to physical trauma. Yeah, we can. Do I need to give it a name? Hard skin. It's pretty easy to do. It's done. It's in. What do we got here? So mind control, mind control. I'm pretty sure somebody said something about mind control already, but let me have a look first. Telepathy, can survive, possum, body weight, dislocate jaw, farts, vapor. No, no, it's not there. So I guess the spore communication or spore control. And we'll put that in there. And so take out the formatting sprays, mind controlling spores that act like okay. Sprays, mind controlling spores. That's all we need. I'm not going to refer to the charm person spell. That there communicates everything that we needed in the first place. So there. We've got it. Nice job, Pale Rider. Capable of deep sea living, cold, high pressure. Fair enough, yes. Again, I feel like this is more of a trait than a special power, but it doesn't matter because I will separate them at a later date. And we'll go copy and drop it in. Format, okay. And it's done. There's nothing much I need to add to that one. Thanks, AJ. I got here late, so I might repeat other suggestions, which is fine, so I'll just go through, and if it looks like it's repeat, then I'll just, yeah. Can inflate gas sacs and hover in the air. Okay, so that's a little bit like the expand that I had put in. I put an expand in, so I'll put that, where is this? Expand. Do I put it somewhere else? No. I don't know where I stuck it. So I'm just going to just take it, put it in. But you've got it here floating. So it's an ability to float. So that's fine. We'll grab that and chuck it in. Yes. Sweet. Got it. All right. Perfect vocal mimic. Okay. Can perfectly mimic any vocal sounds. Is that adequate, AJ? I think that's what you were trying to get across. But what I will call it is perfect vocal mimic. Here we go. Done. Grinds teeth to scrape off plaque that acts like... No. So remember, I used to work at a drug and alcohol rehab, and no. Not going to happen. Taking it, Pale Rider, don't even bother mentioning P and metafin. No, not in a live stream. Not in a live stream, dude. Okay, raw sodium explodes when it contacts oxygen and water, so excessive sweat, the creature is constantly causing small explosions around it. I see, Norike. Now, hello, Wally. How are you doing, Wally DM? Wally DM has a YouTube channel, deals with puzzles and traps. AJ, of course, does with monsters and lore. Special powers for attacks, or is it a... I want to go with special powers rather than monster traits. I want to do monster traits some other time, just so I can drag it out for longer. That's really the goal. Let me see if I can grab this one. This is a quite an involved explanation here, so we'll take that, and I don't know what I'm supposed to do with it right away, frankly. I'm just going to put it in here. You've explained part of it, and I'm going to just assume that I'm going to have to figure out how to deal with that later. Okay, so let's just I'll highlight it. I'll come back to you. Yeah. If its limbs are cut off, they still try to attack as if they are something. Okay. All right. So we're really talking about limbs. Let's just pull it straight from there. Okay. Let's do this. Okay. If limbs are cut off, they still try to attack. I'm just going to say that. I'm assuming that's what we're after. It's very zombie-like. Adrenaline. Norok, this is helpful. I appreciate the tag. Makes life a lot easier. Can throw voice up to 30 feet. Oh, interesting. I like the idea. No, I do. Absolutely. I am not going to be moving fast enough. You guys are moving much faster than I am, so I got to move faster. Sentient limbs, basically. Sentient limbs. Overboard, that's what we're going to call it. Sentient limbs. There we go. It's in. Sentient limbs it is. Body here that shoot out like quills. So we do have shooting quills already. So, yeah, I'm pretty sure we had shooting spikes and quills already. Major Laser's got Pest Hive Mind. Can control actions of nearby vermin. Pied Piper. Okay. Alright. Okay, I get it. I'll take that one. Copy, and then stick it into here. So if my live stream is jumping back and forth from you seeing me, seeing the live chat, and then this, I do apologise. I am working as fast as I can to keep up. And that's really well laid out. I like that. That's great. That's cool. Quill's perfect. Okay, cool. How about criticism can throw? Yes. So, Wally, I'm just going to pull it straight out of Wally's statement. Right there, and I'll just put that there. So it's slightly different. We'll put that there. Why is it saying it doesn't? Ventriloquist. We'll just go with ventriloquist. Can throw voice. There we go. That's fine. Scroll it up. Thermal sense can detect heat variations like thermal vision camera. Okay, yes, absolutely. We need to have something like that. There's more than a few. What isn't it? The snake? Doesn't the snake have something like this? That they actually sense heat. So yeah, thermal sense. And can remove its bones from its body and use them as tools and weapons. There you go. All right. Dear. That's one of those, how strange can we go? Well, apparently we can go a fair way. I don't even know what I'm supposed to call this. I'm just gonna put it in, think about it later, okay? Because right now I don't know what else to say about it other than okay. There we go. It's in. We're almost halfway there, so we're doing all right. Frankly, it doesn't even matter if we get it finished this time around because we're going to just finish it off next week anyway. So it's not. Don't freak out. We'll just, when we finish this, we'll just move on to the next one. Okay, so there we go. I got that. Pale Rider. That's cool, Fred. Sorry, I was just thinking of the speed of speed. All good wouldn't happen again. Nah, it's yeah. Reproducers have sliced in half. Isn't there a biological word for that, AJ? I know, I'm sure there is. I'm going to put it down. Absolutely. Isn't there some sort of gosh, I just can't remember what it's reproduces. Reproduce if sliced in half. Okay. I think that's what, yeah. I don't know what I can't remember what it's called. There is a specific word for it, isn't there? Absorbs other living creatures, grows new head, and grows larger. Absolutely. Let's do that. This is essentially the concept of the blob. Oozes should be operating this way too, right? And AJ is an expert on the ooze. Yes, I got it. It has an extra-dimensional marsupial pouch. Really? Dear. It has an extra-dimensional marsupial pouch. Far out. Okay. Creature's blood is made up of something akin to black pudding. Okay. Asexual reproduction. Is that what it's called, is it? Okay. Is that what I'm doing here? Reproduction? What have I got wrong here? Production. Is that what we're talking about here? I think that is. Constantly oozes mucus, allergic to normal atmosphere. Parthenogenetism. Oh, okay, I see. That's different. That's actually different. So this is cut. That's a different thing. Paste. And we're dealing with Oh, my eyes are going. Genesis. Okay. Okay, there we go. I think I got it right this time. So we've got Pale Rider's black pudding idea. Grab this, copy it, transfer it over. You guys are working very fast. We'll call it something else later. And what was the other one? This is AJ. Constant mucus is yes. Allergic to normal atmospheres. Done. And okay. Jackwell, what do you got here? Spawn ally split up into egg that hatches into creature loyal to it. Spawn ally can spit up. Odd. I'll still put it in. Good. Sweet. It's there. Put a full stop. Spawn ally. Extra-dimensional marsupial pouch for the win. Yeah, absolutely. Creature can attack physically, ethereally, astral form from any one of these planes, but is also vulnerable from these 3 planes. Okay, so Pale Rider, you're trying to do quite a bit there, so we'll copy. I'll take it and I'll just chuck it in. Come here. Come here. Oh, yeah. There's my mouse. There it is. Okay. Creature can attack physical. But. Okay. Alright. I think I got it. I'm not sure what else to. Why are we having problems here? Physically. Okay, I think that's happy now. We'll deal with grammar later. I'm putting it down. I'm not going to promise it's going to stay on the list. Joe, I'm not going to promise it stays on the list. Okay, but I'll put it down. Far out. Dear. Basically generates oozes. Causing chunks. Okay. Okay, so what's this? Dairy. Grinding it slower. Oh, what's this all about? What is this? Grinding its lower iron-based teeth with its flinty, regrown upper teeth to spark and ignite the sulfur. Okay, here we go. Breathe. Fire. And other. So energy types. Yeah, let's get the breathing fire and out of the way. Let's just get that done. Didn't put it in there. Suppose I should have done that early on. Sorry. Okay. Creates a force field from mental powers, temporary and tiring. Okay, all right. Right, that's, what are we going here? Whew. I'll come back to that. I'm probably going to need to drink some more water. Chuck a lozenge into my mouth because my throat is killing me. Singing causes visual hallucinations. Really? Okay. Visual hallucinations. It's a ramped up mermaid song. Can harden its skin by consuming ores. Stronger the material, the better the effect. So we do actually have a hardened skin. We do have something that we called hardened skin. If I can find it, I would. But I'm pretty sure we have something that's hardened skin. Hardened skin. Skin hardens in response to physical trauma. What I will do is I'll just copy it and I'll put it here and decide what to do with it later. Okay? Alright. Boneless. Can fit through small spaces, escape restraints, survive impacts, and contort in fantastic ways. So you're talking about the squid and the octopus, aren't you? No, it's not. It's the octopus. That's the octopus feature. Let's put that in here. Oh, I can hear a little voice. Boneless. That's what that one down. Tagging saliva allows for the species to track the target for 10 days or some other time period. Wow. This sounds a little bit like a an extent, a concept. AJ created a thing called the delicious pink ooze, and I won't tell you the story, but it sounds a little bit like that. Saliva. Saliva. Okay. X-ray vision needs lead sunglasses. Okay. Cool, blimey. Back and forth he goes. Stick another one in. Oh, I feel like people are in a rush here. Ability to melt steel with just a touch. Really? Love it. And we've got it. Ability to melt steel with a touch. I don't know what we'll call that yet, but that'll do for now. Got that, Joe. And then healed by increasing... Oh, really? Oh, gosh. AJ's going all biology on us. Here we go. Let's put that in. Healed by increasing cell activity by touching, can reshape and meld bone back together. Okay. So this is not personal regeneration. This is the ability to basically heal somebody or regenerate their cells. What is Miracle Maker gonna? What do you got here for Miracle Maker? Before I go tossing this in, because I've made this mistake before. Miracle Maker, the creature's gaze can cure any disease and remove curses. Thought I'd do something a little more pleasant. Okay. I'm personally fine with people making their monstrous abilities horrible. It's fine. Perfectly fine with me. You may well have got it from AJ. Yep. Okay, so what do you got, Major Laser? Species shift. Temporarily change victim into another species race of similar size intelligence. Oh. You're not talking about the monster. The monster's not transforming. It transforms something else. That's sneaky. I'll take it. Sneaky is fine. And we'll put it over here. I wasn't expecting that one. Okay, but I got it though. It's in. And we're on to this page 3. I think it is. It is page 3. Page 3, people. Well done. You guys are doing a lot of work here. Let's just see if I can catch up on what my first idea was. I was trying to pull from something and I didn't finish it. Ambush. No. Sheep's clothing can turn into the people and creatures it consumes and gains their memories. So that's shape shift, isn't it? Species shift. Shape shift. I think we had something like that. Can I find it though? Boneless. There's so many here now. I probably will not won't be. The Scooby-Doo trope. Shapeshift. Spray something. Neutral skin, hardened skin. Shape change. Here we go. So I think what you've put in here is it can turn into the people and creatures it consumes and gains the memories. So we've got shape change. Let's separate the memories thing though. I'm going to take this, since we've got the shape change thing already, let's separate it and go like this. It can it gains. It gains the memories of creatures it consumes. How's that? Does that sound like we've just sort of separated that? We got the two there. Snap, dude, yeah, like the wolf in sheep's clothing. Yes. Drew, how's it going, Drew? How are you? What about a worm ability that lets it dig? Okay, we'll just call that dig. Dig. The creature can burrow into loose soil. So burrow, there we go. Into loose soil. There we go. Right, got it. Okay, we got the worm down. There you go, Drew. Ability to attempt to steal your soul. Successfully attempt lowers player's wisdom to 0. I'm not going to be that specific. I am not going to be that specific, okay? But your first idea, sweet. Okay, we'll put that one in, but yeah, I'll leave the other bit. Ability to steal a creature's soul. Okay. We'll call that, how about Soul Thief? Sound alright? Not alright? I think that's what you're after. We won't be quite so specific about, I mean, you know me, I'm not shy about killing player characters or giving them some fairly nasty monsters to deal with. But yeah, we won't go quite that far. Okay, Fred. Feed off of memory. It exceeds the victim, loses all memory, has to learn how to walk again, blank slate. Well, we kind of got something like that already. Feeds off memories. Blank slate. I feel like this is so similar to what we just put in here. If I can even find it again. Yeah, the sheep's clothing one. Blank slate. Very, very similar to what we've already got. But let's see if I can pull it from chat, and we'll put it in. So less than 15 minutes. Probably actually less than 10 minutes. I probably need to give myself more time to get moving. I'm supposed to be taking somebody for like a 4-hour train ride. And hi. Eek. Feed off of memory. If successful, the victim loses all memory and has to learn to walk again. So, right, that's something. that would be something. Absolutely. No, I'm not skipping it. I've put it in. I've just restructured it and put it somewhere else. If there's anything that comes up too many times, if I can see a way of sort of restructuring them so they look different, I will. Anti-Medusa. The creature's gaze turns non-living creatures into fleshy creatures. Really? Oh, I should have guessed. Noroak, that would be you. Yep. Let's pull it. Pull it and put it in. And we're doing all right. Looking pretty good here. Anti-Medusa. Creatures. Gaze turns non-living material into fleshy creatures. Ability to fight after death. Once slain, it gets a final surprise attack when it speaks body. So Joe, are you talking about like being undead, or are you talking about something else? Ability to fight after death. Is that what we're talking about? Specifically? Is that what we're talking about? Yeah, I'm kind of curious. Okay. So that's, let's see, let's go down, amorphous. We're going to take that, we're going to cut it. I'm going to put this over here in the A section. Amphibious. Can swim normally in water. Amphibious. That's what we want. Furious. The more wounded the creature becomes, the more damage it deals, and the faster it becomes. One last attack with advantage. I'm not going to refer to advantage, so yeah, we won't get quite so specific as that. How's that? I think that we'll leave that. Okay, so what are we doing here? Furious. Well, let's drop Furious into here. Jump scare in a movie where the villain is dead, but yeah, okay. Yeah. Noroak, your thing here is something else, but Furious. The more wounded the creature becomes, the more damage it deals, and the faster it becomes. Okay, we'll leave that there. Got it. Right, cool. Sweet. Nice. And 4 more minutes, and then I'll wrap it up. What was that? What else was they going to go in here? New. Let's go. And magic. Anti-magic void. Magic doesn't affect the creature. How would that suck? How would that suck? Yeah, lunch break. You're right. It's probably time. 3 minutes. Oh, no, I'll go. You got to go and have your lunch break, AJ. Thank you for your time. I'll catch you on Friday, New Zealand Daylight Time, Thursday, North American Time. It's been fun. Yeah, so Wally, no problems. I'll see you later. Yeah, we've got spider walk. We've actually got spider crawl. We couldn't use spider climb, but we've got wall crawler, spider walk, spider crawl. We can put spider crawl. How about I'll just call it spider crawl. How's that sound? Spider climb we can't use, but spider crawl. How's that sound? You're happy with that, Joe? We've got it in there. Okay. You can crawl on vertical and horizontal surfaces, including upside down. Sweet. Time Weaver. Where did you get Time Weaver from? All right, we're going to have to go all the way down here, I think. I've got a big space there. We'll get rid of the space. Don't need the space right now. Time Weaver. Time Weaver. Oh, good Lord. Let's take this. What is it actually? What have you actually written here? Time Weaver. Wally, I'll see you on in a couple of days, buddy. I sent the email. The creature can manipulate time to a small degree. It can grant itself advantage on its enemies, disadvantage for a short duration. I like the idea, but I'm going to ditch the advantage-disadvantage thing. Okay, Time Weaver. The creature can manipulate time to a small degree. And that's all we'll put. That's all we'll put. And let the game master make their decision what it's going to look like. I think that's good. Windstrider, the creature can walk on air as if it were solid surface. Interesting. I like that. Okay. Let me don't throw any more ideas out there, people, because I'm not going to be able to have time to keep going. I will have to go. I do have to go to work. So you don't have to worry about it. We'll be back next week, and we'll do this all over again. We'll continue this table till we get to 100, and if we wind up with more than 100, I will separate them into powers and traits, which is probably going to be done in my own time. Ancient IO that can take control of golems. Oh, okay. Ooh, I like that. Pale Rider, I like that idea. That's a cool idea. Let's put that in there for sure. Yeah. Ancient AI can take control. Ancient AI. Let's go here. Ancient AI can take control of golems and other animated constructs. Sweet. All right. And limb regeneration. Several limbs may be replaced with a new limb or multiple new limbs. We've already got kind of regeneration as it is. Rots wood if any wood comes within 20 feet. Rots wood. Okay, I'll take that. All right. So, before you all run away, I want to thank you for... Everybody's worked so hard. All I've had to try to do is sit here and try to write down all your ideas as quickly as possible. Haven't really been able to throw anything fantastic in myself. But then again, trying to run the show, aren't I? Trying to run the show. Anyway, the show has to come to an end, and I have to go to work. So what is happening tomorrow? So let me tell you what's happening tomorrow. For those of you before you run away, Star Wars, baby. we're going to create a Star Wars character for Star Wars Saga, because I'm going to show you how to play Star Wars as well. I will actually go over the rules for Star Wars Saga. I will give you all the resources so you can go and play it for free. For free. You don't have to spend any money, okay? You'll be able to get the rules, you'll be able to get the character sheet, and I'll show you how to build a character. And as time goes by, we will actually start showing you how to play the game, because I have all the maps and I have the miniatures and I still remember how to play the game, and it's actually not that hard because it's very similar to 5e and 3.5 and 4e, and yeah, you will find if you played a D20 system, it will be a piece of cake. Anyway, yes, Star Wars, and we can build other characters as well, not just Jedi. In any case, I would like to say thank you to everybody who was here today. Everybody who is a patron, I appreciate your time and your money. It really does make a big difference. I want to thank AJ Pickett, Wally DM for jumping in here today as well, and specifically Pale Rider, Overboard, Noroak, Major Laser. Who else was there who's been spitting out lots of got Noroak already, Major Laser. Is there anybody I'm missing here that was here that had to leave? Dungeons and Chronics, I believe, too. And yes, there's been so much input from you today. It's really made this much more entertaining and fun. Feels like we've gone back to before the Wizards of the Coast calamity. Fender, yes. So, thank you, and thank you for watching all those live streams, the replays, the edited videos, putting up with the shorts videos. You know the story. And wherever you are in the world, whether it be the morning, the afternoon, the night, or the wee early morning, please look after yourself, your family, and your friends. Be nice to your neighbours. And hey, till next time, keep rolling those 20s.